I am certified pet professional Amy Leigh. The only difference between you and your groomer is knowledge, technique, and tools. It is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the grooming industry. So stay put as we get started on this journey together today.
Thank you for joining me live from the grooming table. I am Amy Leigh, certified professional pet groomer since 2003. But it is absolutely my pleasure to share with you the secrets of the pet grooming industry so you can provide quality care for your beloved pets at home. That's what we do here every Monday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time together on YouTube. Thank you all for being here tonight. It's great to see you. We got a few fun things to announce tonight, and then we're going to get right down into all these shears that are sitting in front of me. I had to dig them out today, and I was like, man, I really did waste a lot of money. But who knew, right? We didn't know. Everybody's telling you this is a good shear, that's a good shear. Some of them just aren't. They're junk. Before we dive into that, I want to remind you guys that right here on my YouTube channel, the reason I created this YouTube channel for you is so that you have a place to come where you can learn valuable dog grooming methods and techniques, learn information from a professional about tools, products, and where to get them. And that's what we do here on our channel together live from the grooming table, as well as I have a lot of informative videos that'll walk you through the steps of grooming and trimming nails and brushing and dematting and you name it. I think I've got over 200 videos on my channel, so I have something that can help you, trust me. Now, a couple little announcements here. This is fun. You saw me put a comment in there. Who's got the wrench? I was able to today go into my YouTube studio and give a couple of more people access to being a moderator here in the chat, which means that's King of Aliens is one, and there is another one that I don't think has shown up yet. When that person does, I got to take my shoes off. When that person does, then we will definitely see who the other person is that has the wrench today too. So the moderators basically are just able to filter through the chat. If somebody's not behaving in the chat, is saying ugly things to others or to me, the moderators can simply click on those three little dots right beside the name of the comment, and they can hide the comment, or they can put the person in timeout because they obviously don't really belong in our group if they're being mean and ugly, because we're not like that. So that's what our moderators do. They have the ability to keep the chat in check, you know. So King of Aliens, I hope it's okay with you. You have been such a valuable part of our group for so long. All of you have. I love you all. And King of Aliens, I don't think you ever miss one. You know, Raquel doesn't either. And you guys will. It's okay. You have a life. I understand. No hard feelings. But I just thought, you know, I wanted to just give you a little bit more in this little community because you're always here. And we appreciate that. So just because you have a wrench doesn't mean you always have to show up in every live stream. That's, you know, that's okay. But when you do, you have the ability to moderate the chat if it gets a little ugly, which, guys, we don't really have that problem. Have you noticed that? Everybody here is full of love, wants to be here for the right reasons, and help each other. And that's what we do. So I wanted to let you guys know that. And I also wanted to let you guys know I am working hard on my course. I am getting a lot of people asking about it. When's it coming out? When's it coming out? I want to pre-order it. Well, it's not actually up for pre-order yet, meaning you can't pay for it yet. But you will all be notified. There's a link in the description of this video and in most all of my videos that has my virtual dog grooming course sign up. So basically what that means is you can sign up by clicking on that link, and it puts your email address into an automatic service that you will be notified of any digital products that I create and release, and especially the courses. And from there, then once you're notified about the course, then you'll get an email with a link that'll take you to purchase the course when it's available, which is supposed to be October 18th. And I'm really hoping to get it out there for you October 18th. That's my deadline. That's my goal. I've been working hard on it. The more I work on it, the more I want to do more. And it's kind of driving me crazy a little bit because, you know, I have to say, I need to provide you guys not with information overload. I need to be able to transform your problem. And that's what I keep trying to focus on in this course that I'm creating, is transformation over information. I mean, you are going to get a lot of information, but I'm trying to keep it simple that you guys will get the results that you need, and you'll understand why you're getting the results that you need. So that's coming. Did I see Janelle popped in? Janelle, you brought tools too? Did you really? Janelle, I made you a moderator too. I hope that's okay. You're always here. You know, you guys are just wonderful. This community that we have is excellent. We have helped each other so much with our pets, with sharing our experiences with grooming, my experiences as a professional. A lot of you in the chat are professional groomers too, and you are so helpful. All of us as a community, it's just of great value. So Janelle and Raquel and King of Aliens, I hope it's okay that I stepped you guys up a little bit and gave you some tools, but you can moderate the chat if it gets a little ugly. Unfortunately, ask Raquel. It typically isn't, there's nothing to do. Everybody is so happy to be here. So anyway, it's exciting for me to see those runches in the chat because it's just us, you know, it's our community. I feel the love, and I depend on you guys as much as you depend on me. If I don't show up and you don't show up, then we can't do this thing, can we? So we all show up. We do our best. But I am glad that you're all here. Thank you for that. One more announcement before we start looking at all these shears in front of me. Ugh. I wore my hair down for you guys today, didn't I? I don't usually do that because it drives me crazy. My hair it just makes me hot, and so I've been giving it a lot of thought lately. And I have a hair appointment scheduled for this Friday. And I've decided I am getting a completely different hairdo. And I'm not going to tell you guys what it is. You have to wait and come and see me next Monday. I'm going to the groomer. So I wore my hair down for you guys so you could actually see it before it goes away. And I'm ready for a change. We all do. You know, we all get ready for change sometimes. So here it is. It's for you. And it's going away. So how much did I spend on all these dog grooming shears that I have accumulated over 20 years? Well, I did some simple math today, rounding, and I came up with over $3,000. That's a lot of money, you know, okay? It's okay if, you know, you're really going to use them all, but so many of them I used a couple times, and I would find that my hands were hurting, or that I just didn't like the weight of the shear and it was affecting my scissor work. So I didn't go for the shear anymore, or it just didn't perform very well. You know, it pushed the coat around instead of grabbing the coat and clipping it the way it should. So the first thing I want to show you guys is the very first pair of shears that I've ever owned. I should probably auction these off to you guys or give them to you guys for our 1,000 subscriber party. But don't try to use them because they suck. But I could autograph them. So it was this pair right here. It came with my toolkit that I purchased with my course. And look how big the holes are, which is great. You know, if you have bigger hands, it's nice to have shears that have that ability. Way too big for me, though. It also is a heavy shear, this shear. And it back then, this was probably about a $70 shear. But really nothing special. It sounds like swords smacking together. It's just, I would never use it. at this point. I mean, never, ever. So, but this was my very first pair of shears. What do you guys think? Do you think that I should, that part of our 1,000 subscriber party, I should autograph and give you guys a pair of my shears that I don't use anymore? And don't try to use them because they suck. That's why I don't use them. But if you just wanted to have a keepsake, I mean, these shears, you know, a lot of them have been through it. Trust me, they have groomed a lot of dogs. Maybe that would be fun. But this is the first pair of shears that I ever had. And they were awkward to me right away because they are pretty heavy. They really are. And they're a little clumpy. And they just feel clumpy to me. So I quickly, you know, looked for more shears right out of the gate when I started grooming dogs. So that was my first pair. Then I was finding another affordable brand. It's called, oh, let me see if I can find them. Yeah, these were Heritage Shears. I went to these for a while. You guys may have heard of them. I wish I could really show you that better. That's disappointing, isn't it? So these I liked, and I would buy several pairs, straights, curved, a couple different lengths. I have bought some smaller shears. I think this is a 7-inch, 7.5, 7.5. I do not like smaller shears. I have noticed that my whole grooming career. This pair, I thought, oh, well, I'm going to get a smaller pair of shears because I think it would be easier around the feet and around, you know, the face, especially the faces of little dogs. But I find when I use little shears, I have to work harder to accomplish what I'm looking to accomplish. So I never was a fan of the smaller shears. I was always a 7.5, 8 to 8.5 shear was always my favorite. And so these Heritage shears, I ended up buying several of these because they were, I believe, around $80, $90 a piece. They were pretty light, well balanced, feel good in my hand. They cut nice, but I did notice over time that after I started to accumulate better shears, these do not hold their sharp edge as well as some of the nicer shears that I bought. So that would be one thing that I would say about these Heritage shears. And I ended up buying several. I got some straights, some curves, and I got like 2 of each. Yeah, no, that's the Monk. Okay, I want to show you guys that in a minute. But yeah, so I was ordering these for a while when I was beginning, my first few years. I used these a lot, and these worked for me. But I definitely wouldn't choose them now that I have some better shears. So that was those guys. Then I found these shears. These are called Monk Light. Can you guys see that? And I've told you before that I like the Mink Shears as an inexpensive shear. Affordable, nice little everyday working shear. These are well balanced. They feel good in my hand. They're not too heavy. If it was too heavy, that would affect my scissor work. You know, so I have learned that over the years, especially, you know, going from my first shear and realizing right away it didn't feel good to me. And here I was just learning to scissor. So by using a crappy shear like this, it definitely affected my ability to learn to scissor until I got some better shears, and it was almost breathtaking. I was like, oh, that feels so much better, you know. So these Monk Light shears, I believe Groomer's Choice still carries it. This is probably, I bought these, this has got to be 17 years old. They still work. You know, I send them out to be sharpened, but lately I found I have a core set of shears that I use, and that's it. So I don't have a need for all these shears anymore. But I'm going to go over those core shears with you guys and explain to you why I like them and why I use them and why they're valuable to me. Yes, Facebook. Is it online now? So I thought I got in trouble or something from Instagram and Facebook. I was trying to post in both Facebook and Instagram today to let you guys know what the topic of the live stream was and all that fun stuff. And it kept saying, no, you can't log on. Sorry, try later. I'm like, what? So right before I jumped on here live, I pulled up I just typed it in a chat or in the Google. I was like, what is going on with Instagram? Well, apparently it's really down. The WhatsApp app, Facebook and Instagram, which is all owned by Facebook, they're all down. And to my knowledge, they still are. So I don't know what's going on. But at least YouTube is still up and running. Thank you, YouTube. So these are the Monk Light. And I ended up buying a straight shear too of the Monk Light. Really liked it too. And I used these guys for quite some time before I went looking for more shear. I'm trying to think. This is, they're both of these are an 8-inch. Yes. It doesn't say on there, but I'm sure they are. Then I found this little gem. Now this took me a while. I bought it at a show and I thought, I'm going to try it and see what I think. It's a bent shank shear. Do you see that? So the shank is bent. I actually liked this for everyday scissor work. This is made by Monks. So these were Mink. No, these are Monk. Sorry. Monk. These are made by Monk too. I'm getting confused. I'm going to show you a shear in a minute that's called Mink. If I could find it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So these are Mink Shears, and I actually liked these for just my everyday trimming, mainly trimming around feet. So basically after I do my clipper work, tidying up what was the clipper couldn't get to and making everything even and looking good. I liked these shears, the bent shank, and it could be, it felt good in my hand. Some people may not like that, but I did. I used these for a long, long time, and I would still use these today if I didn't do this video. I wouldn't have known which drawer I put them in, but I found them. So these guys I liked. They're affordable. They're made by Monk. I don't know if you guys can see. Monk, yeah. They were nice. Then I found these Mink Shears. Okay, this is a big one. This is like a 9-inch shear. It felt good. It's very light. It didn't seem to hold a sharp edge as long as I would expect it to. And this I used years and years ago too, guys. I used to do a lot of bigger dogs scissoring, like scissoring in the rumps of, big Samoyeds, and I needed a bigger shear. And the problem with bigger shears is they're often just cumbersome to work with. These Minks, these are called Mink. I don't know if you guys can see that. These were okay, and they're affordable. Most every shear I'm showing you so far, I'll tell you when they get a little more expensive. They were all between $80 to $100, if not even a little less, some of them. So for the price, I'm like, okay, that's doable. But they didn't hold the sharp edge like I wanted to. Aside from that being a larger shear that covers more ground, these were a good choice. Versus these, I bought these from Precision Cut. Precision Sharp actually is who makes them. These are heavy and they smack like a sword. I don't like them. So these are curved slightly, which is nice, for scissoring in those rumps. But they felt heavy to me. They still do. So that's hard. That's when, if you're going to get a larger shear, like an 8.5, a 9, or 10, you really want to make sure that you are buying a shear from somebody who has all those things configured into the shears that they're selling you. They're made of good 440 steel that will hold a good edge for a while, that they are, a lighter weight metal so that you can work without tiring your hand, and it's naturally balanced for you, These I did not like. So the Minks, they're much lighter than these. These were, I think, 100 or a little over 100. I bought them at a show too, and I just was never happy with them. So then, now we'll get to thinning shears and blending shears just hang on, you know, they're my favorite. So, because still, as I began grooming, I didn't use blending shears like hardly at all, as I really didn't know how to use blending shears. It wasn't until I started going to a lot of grooming expos and sitting ringside and watching people groom, and I was noticing they were using so much of the scissor work was done with blending shears or thinning shears, and I was like, you know, I need to know what I'm doing wrong, why I'm not doing that. You know, that looks great. It makes sense. So then I started watching a lot of Jody Murphy. I bought a lot of her videos. She also would do demos at the Andis booth quite often. And I would, you know, be able to ask her questions about shears and stuff like that. So she kind of inspired me more to pick up some thinning shears, you know. And when I did, my whole grooming game changed at that point. That was probably, it might have even been more than 10 years ago till I really started using blending shears quite often. So, but before that, it was all straights and curves. So then there's this company that we all know, we see them a lot, called Guibe. And I thought, I want to try some of their shears. So I bought this entree. This is a curved. I did not care for it. It never really held a sharp edge all the way up the blade. The tips would be not sharp. And, you know, I'm pretty careful with not dropping my shears and stuff. I was not impressed with these curved entrees. Maybe it was just this pair. I know a lot of people do like them, and this is an affordable shear. They also make an entree blender and a straight shear. I like the size of this shear. It's nice. But I never really preferred using it. It didn't feel good in my hand. And I also thought it didn't cut all the way, you know, right out of the gate. I was not able to use the tip of my shear, and I love to do that. You guys know I tell you that all the time. That's one thing I love about my shears. The Sapphire set. And I told Sammy at Kenchii when we talked, I said, I really, really love to use like the last quarter of my shear quite often, because I don't have to open it much because it is an 8-inch shear. I barely have to do any movement to do all that detail work. So I prefer the 8-inch shears. And that nice point helps to trim around the feet and the ears and stuff. It's just wonderful. So this shear is great. From all the way to the tip, it cuts beautifully. And that's important, because if you're using a shear and it's cutting great here and you get to this area and it's like chewing away at the hair, it's just messing you up, you know. So I didn't care for the entree. Now, on the Guibe side, just to give them I do have a favorite shear that to this day is one of my favorite shears, and it is an 8.5. Doesn't look like it though. The blade isn't. I think it's got a longer shank. I don't think Guibe makes this anymore. This is called the Razor. I know they make the Gator, and I'm thinking I bought this guy probably about 10 years ago. But this is called the Razor. I don't know if you can see, there you go. He's an 8.5 inch. This shear is light. It's very accurate. It's well balanced. It holds a sharp edge. It's nice. It has a nice honed sharp edge on it too. So this was one of my favorites, and I have looked everywhere because I always wanted to tell you guys over the years of doing my YouTube that this is one of my favorite shears. And this is the Guibe Razor, and I don't think they make it anymore because I couldn't find it. That's unfortunate. I don't know how it would compare to the Gator. I think the Gators are bigger here, kind of like my first set of shear. I like these thinner shears because they're just not as heavy. And it's easier to get in those legs, and yeah, I liked this shear. So that was a good one. And I think he was around, he might have even been less than $100. This shear. So if you guys can find the Guibe Razors, I can't. I've looked. That's a good shear. It's a good sword. All right, and I guess I talked about the monks and the mink. Oh, okay. Now we'll get into some of the higher ends. I am very thirsty today. Okay, so oh, this one. Wait. Before we get into that, we got to talk about this Seamon. Okay, so this one, you guys, is called Seamon. Okay, this is an 8.5, I think. This was a decent shear, but a little heavy. And I think you can still get these Seamon, C-M-O-N. Not my favorite. And I think it was the edge on it as well. It just didn't grab the coat, kind of like my shears do. They have this micro serrated edge on them. And when you're scissoring with my shears, you can feel it grab and just cut. It's just different. And it must have been the edge that was on these that I didn't like. And it also is not real balanced for me. And as you can see, you know, this is a different type of handle than what I prefer. I definitely seem to like the offset handle and the more comfort. Like this one is a little closer together than mine. I just didn't prefer it for whatever reason. It didn't feel good to me. So that was the Seamon. They are an affordable shear. Not a bad one though if you're starting out. So now we're going to move up into a little more higher end stuff. So recently I did purchase the Kenchii Shinobi. This is an 8-inch, right? Yeah, 8-inch shear. And it's so light. And it does have, you know, these cutouts, which, you know, maybe that helps to lighten the load on your hand. This shear, and this is more expensive, guys. This is more of a $256 shear, I think. If you take care of it, you're going to have it forever. You know, same with my shears that Kenchii makes. So this was a good one. They also make blenders and curves in the Shinobi line. And this is the only one in the Shinobi line that I have. I think at some point I probably will want to get a blender or, you know, just try something else because it feels good in my hands, this Shinobi. So I really love it. Now, with that said, when I got my shears, and I know mine are a level 1, this is a level 2 shear, if I'm correct. Level 2 or level 3? Oh gosh, I don't know. Go to the website, it'll say Kenchii's website. But anyway, I thought, just out of curiosity, I want to feel how my shears feel in comparison to the Shinobis, because there is about more than $100 difference. These are more than $100 more than my shear per pair. So I thought I just wanted to feel how mine compared. Mine are heavier. Definitely I can feel mine are heavier, a little heavier, but they are well balanced. And that's important. When they're well balanced, then they still help you perform and produce good work. And the Shinobi has a little bit different of a handle. It has more of a crane handle, if I'm correct, whereas mine's more just like an offset handle. But the Shinobi, this feels great in my hands, and so does this, the offset handle. I love it. What I like about mine is it has these little notches that just naturally put your hands right where your fingers right where they should go. So, and the Shinobis don't have that, but it's so well balanced for my hand. My hand goes right, my fingers go right where they should in this shear. This is a nice shear. Really good sword. Good sword. I like the Shinobi. But if you're only grooming your dog at home, which, hey, if you can afford to invest in a $200 pair of shear or $250 pair of shear from Kenchii, you'll have it forever. When you need to sharpen it, you send it to Kenchii. There's a form on their website. It's very simple to send your shears to them for sharpening, and they have pretty quick turnaround. So definitely, I have found Kenchii's shear sharpening services to be the best that I've ever used, and I've used many, many, many. So Kenchii is now getting all of my shears, no matter who makes them. They get them for sharpening. So then we get it. Okay, so let's get into some thinners now. Let's start talking thinners and blenders. So when I first started, I wanted to get some blending shears. I knew I didn't really I wasn't comfortable using them. I was like, I got some learning curve to do here, and I'm willing to give it a go because I can see that this really, really can perfect your grooms. So I bought this thing. This thing was a crappy. It was at a show. I mean, it was. I think it had to be. It's like $80 still. Maybe it was a little less. So still shouldn't have. It should have worked. It's rusted. Look at it. It's not. It didn't hold up. But anyway, this was the first one I bought. And when I first got it, I thought, oh, this is great. And I noticed that it would go dull pretty quickly. So it must not be made from good metal. It is not a casted shear. It is hand forged, but it must be the metal. It's just crappy. And it also would make my thumb hurt. Because when you blend, you are doing a lot of scissor action when you're blending. So this shear hurt my hand. So then I decided to bite the bullet. I'm like, hey, no more of that junky stuff. I'm going to go for a good pair. I've been watching Jody Murphy groom. Jody Murphy had just launched a series of 5 shears, I think it is. Yes, 5 shears. And I was at, I think I bought them at Intergroom. That's where I was. It was at Intergroom, which is in New Jersey. And I was going to buy one of hers. And I couldn't decide which one. Because they're so, like there's a shaper and there's an outliner. And they all kind of perform differently, but they complement each other in the set. There was the blender. See how that's shaped? And then this is the little detailer. I liked this one, but I knew if I'm only going to buy one, and they were about $200 a piece, if I'm only going to buy one, this little baby shear isn't going to get me too far, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm sitting here trying to decide. It was 4 of them. That's right. It was these 4. And I ended up, and I was not financially gushing cash, you know, not that I am now, but I ended up just breaking down and I bought the whole set. Because I did get a little bit of a discount by buying the whole set at the show. I think I got them for like $850 for all 4. So I was like, I'm doing it. And it was the best thing I ever did. That changed my scissor work. Having those 4 shears, their quality. Now, at the time, listen up, at the time, these were made by Precision Sharp. Now her shears, they're private label, but they're made by Kenchii. But they were made by Precision Sharp. And I loved these shears. So this just stepped up my game. The ones I found myself using all the time was this outliner. This guy is aggressive. He takes a lot. And I would, you know, do the heads, scissor in the bodies. I did most of my work with these. The shaper and the blender. These 2 were really nice. These are all Jody Murphy's that I'm showing you right now. It was in the set. But they didn't take much coat. And as I started to use my blending shears more instead of a scissor, like instead of using scissor, I would use blending shears. I found myself wanting that more aggressive shear. So I was always happy with these. Always happy. Then she came out with the same, this was the outliner. And this is still when it was made by Precision Sharp. The outliner, which is my favorite, but he's kind of little. They came out with one that was a little bigger. And it did, believe it or not, it's supposed to be the same shear, just a little bigger. It didn't perform like this one. I felt I was working harder to make it thin and blend. And so I didn't use these much at all. I was not impressed with them. $200, not well spent. You don't know until you buy them. And here, speaking of that, I want to just say real quick, you don't know until you buy them, and then you end up with a table full of shears like this. With Kenchii, this is one thing that I really appreciate about that company. They give you a 30-day, no questions asked refund on your shears, or you could trade it in for a different model. You see, it didn't feel good to me. I bought Amy's shears and they just don't feel good in my hand. Then you get a hold of Kenchii and you tell them how you feel, or it just doesn't feel right to you, and they will try to find the shear that would feel good to you by talking to you and figuring out what your feelings are about that shear, or they'll refund you. So 30 days they'll do that, and I think that's pretty impressive. So that's a nice thing about, you know, dealing with a company like Kenchii, is you know, I've never been disappointed with any of the shears that I bought from Kenchii, but if I was, just knowing that they, you know, they stand behind their products so well and they want happy customers, that, you know, I like that. I like that. I had never gotten that from the other companies that I bought from Gybe, from Precision Sharp, and there was some other just, you know, I would order the monks and everything I would order online from Groomer's Choice or Pet Edge, and I never got the 30-day money back if you weren't happy. Because a lot of these shears I wasn't happy right away with. This was another one that I was not happy with. This is a Precision Sharp blending shear. Again, I was doing a lot of blending work, so I wanted a little bit of a bigger, more aggressive blending shear to take off more coat. That's why I bought this. And I got most of these at shows. And I spoke with the manufacturer who makes these by hand. And I said what I wanted. And they're like, oh, this would be the one you want. I hated it. I got it home. I was like, this is not doing what I wanted to do. So there was another couple $100 down the tube. I've wasted a lot on shears. So then, after I had kicked up my grooming game by doing most of my grooms with blending shears, I love blending shears. Then I decided, after watching Jonathan David do many demos with his lightning shears, which are made by Kenchii, I could just see how effortlessly they were cutting through this coat and shaping this dog, and I was like, I gotta have that shear. I want that shear. So one year at Hershey, several years ago, I ended up buying Jonathan David's. This is an 8-inch. Let me see, a 40 tooth. I think it's an 8-inch. It might be a 7.5. Lightning shear, blending shear. I love, to this day, I say this is my favorite shear ever. I use it so much, and I love it. And it is a level 2, so it is a little more money. I think it was about $275 or something. I don't know. So it wasn't cheap, but I'm gonna have it forever. I have sent it to be sharpened. I think maybe twice. That's it. It holds a nice sharp edge for a long, long time. I groomed so many dogs with this, so I won't be giving this one away. It's my favorite. And then, for the first time ever, this would have been, when did I start with these? I never bought chunker shears. I never did. I used to look at them and think, I don't need that, you know. And after hanging out with you guys so much, and we all share information and talk about what we like best in a shear and what we like to use on different coat types, so many of you are saying, why aren't you using chunkers? Why don't you use chunkers? And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get a pair of chunkers so that I can use them and let you guys know how I feel about chunkers. I love chunkers. I do. And I waited till only like last year was the first time I bought my first pair of chunkers. I just kept thinking, I don't need them. I don't need them. They have made my life so much easier on those big heavy doodle coats. I actually do scissor with these. I will scissor in the head of a big doodle with these. I love them. They're aggressive. They take a lot. This is a level 1. This is the Love series. So this is only a $100 shear, $110 shear. It's wonderful. I still have not sent this for sharpening yet. So, and that just, I love that about Kenchii. After I have them for a while, then I realize, wow, they really aren't just blowing smoke up us, are they? Because They say, you know, we use really good quality metal, so it's going to hold that edge, and they do, and they absolutely do. So the chunker shears was a definite asset in my grooming arsenal. I am really impressed with these. I would like to buy a more level 2 and see what that feels like, if it's a lot different, and I definitely want to let you guys know. But this Love chunker, 17 tooth chunker, feels great in my hands, and I use it a lot, and it doesn't wear my hands out, so that's important. But I think eventually here soon in the near future, I'm going to get like a level 2 chunker shear and just see what the difference is. Chris and Christy are super chatting. Thanks for sharing your shears journey today and for everything that you do. Chris and Christy, I love you, and it is absolutely my pleasure. You are so getting saluted, my friend. Thank you for that. Oh, we could talk shears all the time, you know. They really are the most enjoyable part of the groom, in my opinion. Thank you for that super chat, Chris and Christy. I appreciate it. They have the cutest little Catan. Oh, the cutest little dog that they groom themselves. Christy does most of it, I think. So, you crazy kids. Thank you. That leaves me to basically, okay, yeah. So yeah. And I recently did get the Shinobi. So you can see as I bought shears, and then I would spend money on a good pair of shears, and I would realize the difference in my work, and it actually helps to speed up your work if you have a very good pair of shears. It feels good to you. It cuts well. It's well balanced. It speeds up your work. So then I bought my Shinobi. I think that was this year. At some point I bought this one. I've always had my eye on them, but I'm glad I bought them. They're very good. If I had to say, you know, like, could I get by with mine? I actually have been using mine more than anything. My Sapphire line, the curved, the blender, and the straight. I've been using them more than anything. However, I do use my Jonathan David blender a lot more than I used my blender, but that's just where I'm at with blending shears. This is a much more aggressive blender than mine, and mine is created to basically soften scissor lines and you know, soften the outlines of our grooming work. So this guy here, I can scissor a dog with completely. It's very aggressive. So that's just, you know, we all have our preferences. Not everybody likes to use blending shears, but I'd say I wouldn't. That is my game, blending shears. That is why I enjoy grooming. Actually, is the blending work and the scissor work, but more the blending work than just scissoring, like scissoring a poodle, because I don't get to do that as often as I would like to. But I can perform very flawless work with those Jonathan David lightning shears, even on a scissor coat. There is no water coming out of there. That's much better. So that is my shear collection, at least what I could find. There may be a few in the graveyard somewhere. I don't know. There could be. But I'm going to jump in and take a look at your questions. I see we did have some. So I don't want to leave you guys hanging. All right. What kind of hairstyle should I get, guys, huh? It happened in, Janelle says with Facebook, it happened in 2019 last time, Facebook. It took 24 hours to come back. I do remember that. Yeah, definitely. Okay. I just saw another cool question. I'm just scrolling up to see if I don't miss anybody else. Oh, yeah, I think I'm okay. Oh, wait. Marlo has a question. I think that's the very, very first one. So you guys think I don't scroll up. I do. I try to go back and get your questions. All right. So Marlo, it bounces around on me. Okay. Marlo says, "Hi, Amy. This is not on topic, but I registered for your course, and when I went to go back in, it says it's not my correct email. How do I fix it? Or maybe, come on. How do I fix it? Or maybe I made a typo. You might have made a typo, Marlo. So what you can do is go back in, you know, follow the link in the description below and, you know, reassign, you know, sign up for it again. So, and just double check your email address. Maybe it was missing even just the dot, you know, I don't know. So check it so you make sure. Plus, you guys know I'm going to be letting you know clearly when that course is launched. I mean, we're going to be talking about it for quite some time. Raquel, it was great talking with you last night, too. I got to talk to Raquel, and we caught up on a lot of things, and it was awesome. We don't get to talk much. We're all so busy. Let's see here. Aronia says, beauty comes from the inside out, or inner beauty. That's saying, oh, that is so sweet. You guys are such good-hearted people. All right, I'm looking here for those questions. It jumps around on me. I see it looks like CMM has one. CMM says, I started with a $15 pair of shears. Then after finding this chat with Amy, I jumped to a pair of Kenchii. And you probably never looked back. I guarantee you. $15 pair of shear probably only stayed sharp for 1 or 2 haircuts. Hang on. My scrolling abilities are, it just keeps jumping around. I'm trying to stay in order. Okay, Cynthia had a really cool question. Hi, Amy. What was the inspiration for the Sapphire shears? The main inspiration for the Sapphire shears was you guys. I wanted to create a shear with Kenchii that would suit my audience. You know, my audience has a lot in common as far as their grooming capabilities or their grooming needs, period, you know. So the first thing was you guys. That was the first inspiration for my shears. The second inspiration was the Sapphire is my birthstone. And I've told you guys this story, so I'll make it short. Sapphire is my birthstone. The gold in the Sapphire is to represent a ring. And I did have this ring made. I did have this ring made with a nice sapphire in it to symbolize my shears, this milestone in my life of creating these shears with Kenchii for you guys. But when I was 16, my mom gave me a gold sapphire ring for my birthday. It was my birthstone. She gave me, it was really cute. It was very pretty. It kind of had filigree, the gold did, and it had like a marquee sapphire, really beautiful. And the sapphire fell out and I lost it. So it kind of bums me out. But that is a little bit of the inspiration in my shears too. The shears are supposed to look like a sapphire ring. And then I wear my sapphire ring to just represent us. And then finally getting to create these shears for us. So that's, in a nutshell, the idea behind the Sapphire shear. Sapphire is my birthstone. I'm a Virgo. And the shear qualities are that of a workhorse shear, a nice, good, everyday finishing shear. And a Virgo, you know, has a lot of hardworking ethics, you know, packed into the Virgos. You know, information, sharing, being of service, that type of thing. So I thought it just was perfect to name the shear Sapphire. And Kenchii really liked it too. So it's just a beautiful shear. And I'm very happy that we're in a level 1 shear. This is this is in the affordable side of town. This is for just the everyday pet groomer that, you know, is making this wage, and they're like, I can't buy the shears, the $300 shears. I want, you know, the full set of that. So maybe this would be good for just my, you know, I'm not doing a whole lot of scissor work. I'm just doing finishing work. These shears are great for that. They're great for the pet groomer. So And that's what they were created for, and that's what we are. We're pet groomers. You guys are pet groomers if you groom your own dog at home too. So that's the story, and it's a good, I like that. I love everything behind the making of those shears. I'm so proud of that. All right, so let me just, Lena says, hi Lena. Which shears do you recommend for chow chows? And would you consider doing a grooming video for it with a thick double coat breed like a chow, a Samoyed, or a husky? Thanks. Yes, I certainly would. I do not have any Samoyeds anymore, and I do not groom any chow chows anymore, and I don't accept new customers because I can't. So the likelihood of me doing a video like that as a client dog is not likely. But one of the things that is in the near future for us on this channel is me going to groom with breeders, that have specific breeds and that really know the grooming on those specific breeds. So that I'm so excited for, and I just want to get through making my course. Right now I'm just trying to focus on my course and get this done for you guys so that you have it. It's been slowing me down on making videos. I haven't been making videos because I just can't. I'm working on the course. There's so much footage involved with it. So as soon as that course is out and launched, then we can move on and do other things, on this channel that we enjoy doing. But one of them is traveling to people that have specific breeds and grooming that breed with them together. Like, I'll be doing some grooming, they'll be doing some grooming, and we'll be talking and learning, and that'll be filmed. So it's coming. I obviously, there are so many breeds of dogs, and as a pet groomer here in central Pennsylvania, there's only, certain breeds around here that are very common. So I already only groom a certain amount of breeds often, and there are other breeds that I never see and never will. So that's why I wanted to travel, and add that into our YouTube channel. And then that's when stuff's really going to get good. That's when the learning is the floodgates are going to be open, because we're going to be doing some stuff together on the channel that I've never done before either. So I'll be learning too with professionals that know how to trim that dog, or what tools are best and all that. But I do have a video to answer your question, Lena, of me grooming a little husky mix. She basically is like a husky, her coat is. There wasn't much scissoring involved though. So with scissoring with a chow chow, it's a really thick coat. The first important thing you want to do is make sure your coat is nicely brushed and good and clean. Has to be clean, or you won't get any good scissor work action out of that. So that would be the biggest thing, is how to prepare the coat first before you would scissor any of those fringes off, or because they kind of grow and look a little uneven. So you just like to tidy that up on a chow chow or a Samoyed. But you have to prepare the coat right first. So I have a video on my channel that is how to keep your undercoat in check. And that is really how to handle a double-coated dog. My golden retriever video is excellent for how to prepare your dog like a double coat for light scissoring afterwards too. So those would be helpful, those videos, as well as the one with the husky. That would tell you how to prepare that coat. If you don't prepare that coat right, for a Samoyed or a Chow Chow or even a Bernese Mountain Dog or anything like that, you're not going to get any good scissor work. It's not going to look good. It has to be perfectly prepared. Perfectly prepared. All right. Janelle says, Amy, your shears fit my hands like a high-priced glove. I know. I feel the same way, Janelle, and I'm so glad you're happy with them and they feel good. I'm starting to get some feedback from a lot of you who have purchased my shears, and I'm getting good feedback, and I'm glad to hear that. I know they feel good to me, and I know that, I definitely would recommend them for you guys, but it just really makes me feel good to hear that you say they feel good in your hands, and they do a good job, and they take your grooming to another level. That's what we want to do. So I'm glad. Thank you for sharing that with me, Janelle. And thanks for bringing your tools tonight. Aronia says, Amy, how often do you have to have your shears sharpened? And it depends on the shear. These entree guides, they wouldn't hold a sharp edge for very long at all. Let's see, these Love shears by Kenchii, I haven't had sharpened yet. So these have not been sent out. And you guys remember when I bought them. That was a while ago. It might be close to a year when I bought these. My Jonathan David shears, you know, they're definitely a good shear. I haven't had these sharpened but maybe twice. And I've had these for at least 4 years. Yeah, that's pretty good. So it just depends, guys. It just depends on the quality of your shears, the quality of the metal. Kenchii definitely puts a lot into the metal that they use to make their shears. So, and they're hand forged. They're not casted. So that they're, you know, even a level 1 shear is going to hold a good sharp edge. And this convex micro serrated edge, semi-convex micro serrated edge that Kenchii has is the best. Oh my gosh, we're getting super chatted. I wish I could show you. I can't get close enough. Anyway, my camera's not behaving. Who is super chatting? We got Zandra is finally coming into the hounds. All right, members for 3 months. Finally make it here. Can't wait to have your course. Oh, good. I enjoy grooming my one dog at home. Thanks for all the information that you get. Oh, you are so welcome. Thank you, Zandra. And Cynthia is super chatting. Whoa. Where? Boy, I'm really way down in my chat. Where can I see that? Cynthia. Amy, thank you for being you. You are inspiration. We are so better together. Yes, we are, Cynthia. Thank you. And it's my pleasure to be with you guys. You know that. But you know what? You're getting so saluted. So saluted, Cynthia. Thank you for being part of our community here. We help each other. It's a really good thing. And we love making dogs beautiful. It's an art. And it's just fun. It's a creative thing. Thank you so much, Cynthia. You're sweet. And crazy. All right, so let me just try to filter through some of these questions real quick. I don't want to leave you guys hanging. I'm a little slow to answer questions tonight. All right, so I see... Okay, I'm back. Caught up to where I was. Hang on. Living for this content. Aw. You won't guess it. Aw. Okay, here we go. The Starship Crochet says, question. What do the combs do versus blades, and what would you use for a Yorkie? Also, what is an email for you? I have a bunch of questions. Well, my email should be listed in the description of this video. I should have it in every video, but my email address is in the description of all my videos. So if you don't find it in this one, it should be there. You can check another one. The difference between guard combs and blades, let me just get them. I like the metal guard combs because they actually go through the coat kind of like blades do. A blade is just powers through the coat. The plastic guard combs, they do not. They snag, they pop off. These stainless steel, these are the Wall stainless steel guard combs for detachable blades. They're my favorites. But if you are doing a Yorkie, I'd say you're definitely going to enjoy the snap-on comb over a 10 blade. And you probably are going to want to do, you know, something like even this length. This is the number 1, or maybe a little smaller than this. You would enjoy that on your Yorkie. Even a 1/4 inch you could do for like a summery trim. Because Yorkies have a thinner coat, and a blade just, A blade is hard to groom a Yorkie with, period, because they're such petite little dogs. And the blade it just doesn't ride through the coat the way that these guard combs do, because of the type of coat that a Yorkie has. So I'd say you're going to definitely want your guard combs to do the work on a Yorkie versus a blade, for sure. I hope that helps or made sense. All right. Hey, Nora's here from Egypt. Hello. Yep, we found no Facebook or Instagram too. I hear you. So that is worldwide, isn't it? Because Nora's in Egypt. So I thought I got kicked out of Facebook. I was like, I didn't do anything. Did I get banned? I didn't do anything. All right, let me just see here. I saw some more questions. Nora says, till now, bought 2 sets of shears. My third for sure will be Amy's. You look so beautiful as usual, by the way. Thank you, Nora. I'm cutting this hair off this week. You just wait. I think you guys will like it. Yeah, I hope you get my shears too, honey. I don't know what it's going to cost you in duties to get them to Egypt, but I know you could find that out through the Kenchii website. If you go into the cart and put it in there, it'll tell you what it would cost. Everyone smashed the like button for Amy's new badass shears. They are awesome. I love my shears. I love them so much. I love working with them too. They really do produce good work. Where's, oh my gosh, this chat. Boy, you guys are chatty. I like that. Okay, just looking for your questions. Oh. Okay, Sonia says, will I be able to try your shears at the Expo in November? Yeah, that's the one in Florida. I believe, I don't see why Kenchii wouldn't have them there unless they sell out, but they're pretty much always in production from what I understand. That's part of having the signature shear with Kenchii, is that they will always be producing it. It's never going to, if it's ever out of stock, it won't be for long. So yeah, I would say you should definitely be able to hold my shears there and see if you like them and how they feel to you, for sure. My favorite dog dad is super chatting. You are so getting saluted. So getting saluted. David T, good to see you. Thank you for that. I know you're probably working and listening. But yes, Sonia, you should definitely be able to see my shears at the show in February, in November, and that's going to be in Fun in the Sun, and I'm going to be there too. I already booked my trip, so I will be there too. Aw, Allegra says, I appreciate your videos so much. Thank you. I'm so glad you do. Oh, Debbie says, I love your hair now. Oh, it's just getting to be too much, washing it, brushing it. No, it's just, I think it's time for change. It took me forever to grow the hair out, but I don't know. Unless my hairdresser talks me out of it, but I don't think so. She's probably going to want to get those shears out. Maybe I should have her use my shears. Fuzzer says, I'll be buying your shears. I can't wait to hear how you like them. I hope you love them. I love them. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Eliza says, whoops, where did it go? Okay, I have pairs of shears that I've got off of Amazon, but I definitely need new ones as soon as possible. I'm going to be doing mobile dog grooming. What do you suggest? I suggest my set is very affordable. It's great. I've been using it. I love it. These 3 shears will definitely get you through any dog coat. If you want a more aggressive blending shear, my favorite is the Jonathan David Lightning blending shear. It's much more aggressive than my shear. But this is a good set of shears for the everyday pet groomer. Definitely well balanced. Won't tire out your hand, holds a sharp edge, has that micro serrated edge that grabs the coat when you trim it. They're great for everyday finishing work. So that is my suggestion. If you don't like the handle, the feel of it, you could try maybe their 5-star. That's sort of affordable. That's the Kenchii 5-star, as well as their Love series. But mine should pretty much feel the same as the Love series. My shear in your hand, it should feel pretty much like that. So let's see. Marlo says, comment. My senior advice for haircuts is not to go too drastic. I have 100 years experience. Yeah, right, Marley, you're not 100 years old. Laugh out loud. Just remember it grows back. Just a lot slower than when we're older. I know. I just, when I'm washing it and drying it, it's so much. And I just, if it looked good every day, but tomorrow when I get up, this will be a fuzzy mess. And I will just have to put it right up in a bun. And I'm thinking, well, why not find something that's easier, you know? So we'll see. We'll see what you guys think. You have to show up and see my hair next week. All right. And my kids all have homecoming this Saturday. I'm so excited. The homecoming game is Friday. My stepson plays band in the marching band. So he's going to be marching and drumming. The girls are going to the dance on Saturday. He's supposed to go to the dance too. So I'm so excited. We got a busy weekend coming up. And let's see, Julie says, hi from the UK. Well, hello, Julie. I'm glad you're joining us from the UK. Are your shears available over here? I've been searching on the pet grooming site, but I've not found yours yet. Yes, you have to go to kenchii.com. I have it linked in the description of the video. And they ship anywhere in the world. So yes, they are available to you in the UK, Julie, which is absolutely awesome. And I hope you get them. I hope you like them. All right, so let's see here. Ronnie says, I just got Kenchii Love Shears. I haven't used them yet. Could I exchange them? If it's been within 30 days, you could. Yeah. Kenchii gives that 30-day no questions asked return. And yeah, now I think you would have, my shears are about $10 more a pair than the Love, I think. So you might have to pay a difference. But yes, talk to Kenchii, Ronnie, as long as it's been within that 30-day time frame. Definitely. Because Kenchii's awesome. All right, I think I'm caught up. Pete says, have you come out with Sapphire left-handed? Oh, now everybody keeps asking me. I wish I could say yes. Kenchii will end up making lefties in that shear, but right now this was the first run and they were all right-handed shears. But just like the Kenchii Love series, they have all those in lefties now too. Kenchii Love is one of their biggest sellers because it's such a great little shear. It's affordable. It's for the everyday pet groomer. It's a workhorse, just like my shears. So I would just absolutely guarantee that Kenchii's going to make the lefties. I just don't know when. So I wish I could tell you a date, but it will be coming. I'm sure of it. But I can't say for sure. Ooh, I'm tired. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm not myself today, am I? So, you guys are awesome. I am so happy hanging out with you guys and seeing everything that you're doing together. Yes, the Nightbot is lovely, isn't it? Yes, I love the Nightbot. So, I think I'm caught up on my questions. Yes. Okay, good. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. Which shears would I say are my most valued possessions? Would be my Jody Murphy shears, but not every single one of them. Probably the outliner and the detailer. My Kenchii Love Chunker, 17-tooth chunker. I use it all the time. I really like this razor by Guibe. This is a great shear. I love the Jonathan David Lightning shear. It's a blending shear. I love this with all my heart. And the Shinobi is wonderful. But I can honestly say I could get through, without having the Shinobi, I could use my shears every day for what I do in my grooming salon. The scissor work that I do, these perform great for me. I love them. Kenchii did a wonderful job on that. So I want to tell you guys to have an awesome week and keep being awesome and amazing. Hopefully Facebook and Instagram is back up so we can all entertain each other and share and let everybody know that we're all doing good, you know, and show up for each other there on Instagram and Facebook. But I will see you next Monday with a whole new hairdo. Maybe I should, if my hair's, I don't know if it's long enough to save for locks of love. I don't know how much I'm getting cut off. Anyway. Anyway, I'll see you Monday with a new hairstyle. And you guys have a great weekend. I'm going to keep working on the course. Go ahead and sign up for it so you know when it's coming. It doesn't mean you have to buy it if you sign up for it, but you will then get notified when the course is live. So you guys have an awesome week. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight on Monday, live stream, live from the grooming table. We've been doing this now for almost 3 years, live from the grooming table. And it's just awesome. It's become part of my life, part of your life. So thank you for that. I will see you guys next Monday. Have a fantastic week. Here's the subscriber showdown. Your dog is the demo dog at the Andis booth.
Pretty cool.